makes me want to have a bowl. And we drive on. We go from there then, guys, to a man claims he has stumbled upon €58,000 worth of cannabis while he was scouting an location to go lamping. This is a man about a man about a dog without a dog. So this individual was out scouting a spot to go lamping, but he had no dog with him. Fucking pleb, like, he come up with a better excuse, like, what a sausage. Like, sorry for calling you a sausage, sorry for calling you a pleb, like, but it's just funny enough, like, you know, that you would say like that you were out looking for a location to go lamping, but you'd no dogs with you. Like, is that really a thing people do? Like, surely if you go looking for a spot to go lamping, it's just better that you have your dog with you anyway, in case you spot a few rabbits, like, you know. Or I don't know, like, you know, maybe, like, look, if there's legitimacy in your story, Carl Humphreys, get in touch with me, and I'll thoroughly apologise, like, if you were really out and you really did just genuinely find this cannabis, like, you know. Because I've never been lucky enough. Like, I've been out hunting loads of times. Like, I've gone lamping fucking for years, man, and I've never found a bag of cannabis. I've never even found as much as a 50 bag out in, while out lamping. Like, never mind saying finding like almost 3 kilos of cannabis. Like, but anyway, like, how the individual got caught is because the cops were staging a sting operation. They knew the cannabis was there, and they were watching it, waiting for it to be picked up. How did they know it was there? Again, like, I've more questions about that. Like, you know, where was the tip off given that there was going to be cannabis here? Like, was your man a patsy? Like, was Carl Humphreys like just a victim of this? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so is there a larger conspiracy there, I suppose, if you will? Like, is there an organised crime gang out there operating at such a level where this guy is basically a sacrificial lamb? Do you know, go on out there, Carl, go on out and pick up the cannabis there or whatever, and he ends up getting caught. But meanwhile, like, you know, the organised crime gang are given clearance to bring in, I don't know, they say almost 60,000 here, so giving clearance to bring in 600,000, 6 million even worth of cannabis, you know. And you know, this is the old giving the cops a few breadcrumbs. Like, I don't know, like, it's potential, like, there is a potential there, because look, if you're Detective Garda Michael O'Halloran and you're getting underpaid, do you know, if you're on, maybe, what are you on, Garda Detective Michael O'Halloran? You on 50,000, you on 60,000, do you know? And an organised crime gang comes along and says, come here, Michael, there's going to be a bag of cannabis down there, and or whatever. Like, here's fucking 50 grand there, Michael, do you know, a month. Here's 50 grand a month there, look, Michael, or even 10 grand a month, whatever. Like, it doesn't even have to be so outlandish. But look, and every now and again, Michael, we're going to keep throwing you these old sacrificial lambs. And, do you know, you'll get your stats in, and we get to sell our cannabis. Like, and everybody's happy, aren't we, Michael? Do you know, like, I'm a conspiracy theorist here now, like. But it's potential, like, because, like, Garda Michael O'Halloran, like, he's not, what's the word I'm looking for? Infallible. You know, he's not a perfect human being. He's just another, you know, flawed human being like the rest of us. None of us are perfect, like. So if somebody was to come along and say, like, come here, look, I'll give you a fucking half of your salary every month, in order to kind of, look, just turn a blind eye there to this stuff, and also every month then, look, I'll let you find, you know, a container of cannabis, like, in a grow house here and there, like, I'll spill the beans there a little bit for you, like, we'll throw you some sacrificial lambs, like, people who are pissing me off, like, you know, people who owe me money and I can't get it off them, well, I'll throw you them, like, you know, it's messed up, like. But Garda Michael O'Halloran said that when he went on duty that day, he got into a concealed position to observe the area of the ditch on a quiet lane in Watergrass Hill, County Cork, where the drugs squad officer had previously located €60,000 worth of cannabis. How did he locate it? Like, do you know what I mean? Come on now, like, previously located. Nice one, boy. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, we get you, man. Fucking scumbag. They returned the black bag of drugs to the concealed position under a tyre and kept it under surveillance. Detective Garda O'Halloran said a green Renault Clio arrived and the passenger, Carl Humphreys, got out. He said the defendant started what appeared to be a search of the area. He got over the gate. He searched these tyres. I grabbed him. I had him by the arm. He had a black bag in his possession. He dropped it at his feet. I called for assistance on the radio and he froze. he was in shock, shaking, the detective testified. Again, like, I just going to throw it out there again, like, you know, another potential scenario that could have unfolded there. Imagine if Carl Humphreys arrived and he had a gun on him and he was startled. If this was at night time and he's out, like, you know, looking for, lamping for rabbits, you know, if it was at night time, John, your man didn't know it was a cop or whatever, and somebody grabbed him and he had the fucking gun, just, you know, at a quick location, and he was quick on the draw, like, and boom, boom, like, you know, Michael fucking whatever is dead, like, you know, sad, like, you know, Michael O'Halloran, like, you know. That wouldn't be a nice outcome for that, and that was a potential outcome, because he doesn't know what kind of a situation he's going to encounter when carrying out these sort of raids under the prohibition of drugs. If we take away the prohibition of drugs, again, this guard doesn't need to be doing this, because cannabis is going to be sold by reputable retailers and business people within our communities, and there won't be criminals involved in it, you know. There won't be the fear of the violence and all of the stuff that goes on because of the prohibition, not because of the drugs, it's because of the prohibition, like. Yeah, interviewed later by Gardaí, one of the detectives put it to him in the memo put before the jury at the Cork Circuit Criminal Court. He says, you were going rabbit lamping, and just by coincidence there was a big bag with 10 kilos of cannabis in the ditch where you are trying to get in. There wasn't 10 kilos at all, it was fucking only 3, you liar. Or was there 7 gone missing? Or the cops are after spilling the beans there, the boys are after splitting up 7 kilos there between themselves, and they let us slip in the interview and they don't even realise. Michael's going to be like, fucking, shit lads, you weren't supposed to say 10 kilos, you sausages, shit. We only put 3 into evidence. Humphreys told the Gardaí that this was the case, and he denied being involved in the drugs trade at any level. He says, all I care about is soccer, keeping fit and hunting. He said when he was first interviewed in the case, which date backs to 2012. 2012, what in the name of God is going on there, like? So these cops are getting them paid for this, like. There's investigations going on all over the years, like, there's somebody up there in the evidence there. They still have to keep on to the evidence for this case, so that's going fucking far back, man. That's going way back. He says, my business there was picking out the fields for hunting, and he was asked then, were you ever there before? And he said, no, but I would like to go back again for a bit of hunting. Go on, you legend, Humphreys. Don't change your story, man. I know I was being hard on you at the start of it, but now I'm kind of fucking warming to the story, in fairness, like. Garda O'Halloran said that when he was holding onto the defendant's arm that day, he got such a fright I could feel his heartbeat through his arm. Again, like, that's a traumatic situation that individual was put into over getting cannabis. Again, cannabis is not going to put it's not going to cause the harms that a traumatic event is going to cause upon a person. Again, this person, like, you know, while he says he could go back to this field, like, he could go back to that field and that traumatic event could be brought up, and he could have an entire, just have a mental breakdown in the field, like, and be completely suicidal or something as a result of it. Who knows? The traumatic events are serious. Like, what the guard is describing here, saying he can feel the man's heartbeat going through his body. We are nothing but a big bag of chemicals as humans, like, and what's going on there unfolding in that man's body is a release of chemicals on a level that would be, you know, it's serious. Like, the man's life is flashing before his eyes, I would imagine, you know what I mean? It was that serious, the experience for him. And all because of prohibition. Like, talk about the harms of drugs, but what about the harms of prohibition, like? And overseeing the old case then was Judge Shauna Donovan. Judge Shauna Donovan asked him, where was Fido? And Humphreys asked him, says, what's that? He says, the dog. So Humphreys said, I was scouting. I was not going lamping. I was scouting to go lamping. So again, look, it's valid. Look, it very well could be a very honest story. Could be. Do you know, very well could be. He was out scouting spots, like, you know, seeing if it's lamping, good for lamping. I know I used to do that, not on purpose though. I used to be working, going in the countryside, doing windscreens and stuff like that. We used to spend a lot of time down in West Cork, and we'd be higher up in the van, and I used to spend a lot of time looking out the window, scouting the fields to see if, like, oh, there's a lot of rabbits there, like, they might be worth coming back for lamping. But it's important to see it as well during the daytime, because you don't want to go into a field that you haven't gone into during the daytime, because especially down in West Cork, you have a lot of standing rocks in the middle of fields. And if your dog, you know, is running across the field in the dead of night chasing a rabbit, like, and he hits that fucking rock, that dog is dead, like. And that happened actually in the past, and that's why it's something I could say, because it happened to a friend of mine's dogs. Rest in peace, Skippy. And that's the dog of Billy Murphy, who actually gave my dog Spike as well. Like, I won't even go down memory lane on that now, I'll get all emotional because Spike's gone now. But yeah, the judge clarified that the accused was saying he would go out to the country, scout for a field, go back home and pick up the dogs and then return to go lamping. John, very well could happen. The incident dates to 2012. The case related to the 2012 was in Watergrass Hill, County Cork. And the prosecution barrister was invited by the judge to explain to the jury after they delivered their 10-2 majority guilty verdict the delay in the case. So Mr. McCarthy said the accused went to Australia to work and came back of his own accord. So there you go. That's why it's so fucking far back. Like, so in fairness, like, the man came back. Why did you come back? Like, what's the crack? What brought you back? Like, oh, did you not stay in Australia, man? Stop. Or even head to, I don't know, New Zealand or Thailand or somewhere, like, or maybe there was some extenuating circumstances you had to come back. Like, again, if you're out there, like, it's very likely, like, somebody watching the show could know, yeah, you're not too far from, where you got caught, it's not too far from us anyway, above Watergrass Hill. Get in touch if you want to share your story, your experience. Like, what's the crack? Like, did you forget about it? Did you forget that you were after getting caught? Did you think it was going away? Did you think that the statutes of limitations would apply in your case as it does with other crimes, where, you know, if you leave the country for 7 years and come back afterwards, they can't do you for certain crimes? And I don't know, does that apply for murder? Like, is there a statute of limitations for murder? But that's certainly a thing for other crimes out there, but it's not for drugs, unfortunately. Judge Sean O'Donovan then threatening the man with 10 years, and he said it to his the defence barrister, saying, you know, your fella is facing 10 years. He says, you can be blinding the jury with Fido, but I don't know where the defendant was going. It is really throwing pepper in my eyes. Someone would want to pull themselves together. That's the comments from Judge Sean O'Donovan there in that case. So 10 years for picking up a bit of weed. Come on, like, it's in the next 10 years, weed's going to be fucking legal in this country. Judge Sean O'Donovan, you fucking sod. I'm gonna pop. Do I still have him up there? I think I have him out there. I'm on my Yorkies. Where are you big sod? I'll find you. I'll get you. No, I can't find him. Can I? No. I thought I still had him in one of my Oh, there he is. Yeah, there he is. Oh, fucking sod. Sean O'Donovan. Like, if you were to give this man 10 years in prison, sad, like, what are you going to do in the next 2 years, in the next year, when cannabis use is decriminalised and a process for legalising and regulating is unfolding right before your very eyes, much to your dislike as well, I might add. But what are you going to do for the many people you've sent away to prison over the last year or two for many years? Like, come on, like, these people need to be will need to be released. They'll need to be apologised for, and I wonder, would they be entitled to some compensation? Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine giving 10 years to a fella getting caught with, like, what was it, 50 grand's worth of cannabis, like 58 grand's worth of cannabis, 3 kilos of cannabis. Like, stop, like, yeah, come on, you can't, you sod, like, you really can't, like. So that's it, guys. That's the 420 news for today. Nice on everybody for tuning in. I wish I could have finished off on a better note, actually. Unfortunately, I fucking just couldn't find that nice note to finish on. So I thought that was an important one just to go into there. 10 years for cannabis possession. Come on, stop. For cannabis stealing, nobody should be getting 10 years. Like, and for any judge to even suggest that he would consider it, man, you're an insane, sick individual. It makes me want to have a bowl.